a monument proudly stands in the centre of the square Abbeyfeale to commemorate the life of Reverend William Casey, who was affectionately known as the People's Priest. Born in 1844 at Kilbehenny, Castlequarter, Mitchelstown, County Cork, he was educated briefly at Mount Melleray, then at St. Coleman's College, Fermoy, before going on to Carlow College to complete his training for the Catholic Priesthood. Ordained in July 1868, he began his career as a Catholic Curate at Banogue in the Diocese of Limerick. In November 1871, he was transferred temporarily to Abbeyfeale, County Limerick, but soon afterwards returned on a permanent basis, first as curate and from 1883 as Administrator and Parish Priest. In December 1872, he first came to prominence when he rode a horse into a flooded river field to save the lives of a number of young men who were surrounded by torrential rising flood and without whose help were destined to drown. This incident would set the tone by which Father Casey would become known and much loved over the following 30+ years. Very much a man of the people, during his time in Abbeyfeale, he was instrumental in the setting up of 2 schools, a temperance society, a temperance hall, Abbeyfeale Athletics Club, and Abbeyfeale Brass Band, along with the setting up of temporary fever hospitals during the 1883 fever pandemic. At one point, the pandemic was so severe that he personally anointed no less than 19 individuals living in 4 adjoining houses who were all deemed to be on death's door, only for himself to contract the fever so severely that he too was anointed by a visiting priest. Crowds gathered at his house throughout the night and the following days, with the news finally breaking that he had beaten the fever and was looking forward to be back amongst his flock. A great supporter of the common people and a huge believer that everyone should have the right to the opportunity of becoming full owners of their own land, their own property, and their own destiny. He was a member of the Irish National Land League and often attracted crowds of 5,000 to 10,000 plus when speaking at monster meetings in towns and villages throughout the counties of Limerick and Kerry. Tenants who were evicted from their lands and their property because they could no longer afford to pay extortionately inflated rents to brutal foreign-based landlords often found help in the care of Father Casey, who had bought and built houses so that they could have shelter. This fight for the common people continued for years until the landlords gave up and the people were rightly reinstated in the lands that their ancestors had so vigorously worked. He also joined forces with Reverend Arthur Murphy at a monster meeting in Knocknagoshel, County Kerry in 1903, which created such enthusiasm that a sketch of both men clasping hands across the field appeared in a Kerry newspaper, confirming their joint approach to fighting the brutality of landlordism and concentrating on the caring of the common people on both sides of the Limerick-Kerry border. William Casey died aged 63 on 29th of December 1907. A crowd of over 12,000 people arrived in Abbeyfeale to attend his funeral. Following Requiem Mass at St. Mary's Church on Thursday, the 2nd of January 1908, a funeral procession carrying the body of Father Casey went through the town to allow the thousands who had arrived a chance to say their last goodbyes, before returning to the inside of the church where he was laid to rest, adjacent to the high altar. To understand the immense respect and gratitude that the people of Abbeyfeale, Limerick, Kerry, and indeed Ireland had for this individual, it was they who raised the funding to have the finest example of a monument erected in his honour. The monument was unveiled on the 3rd anniversary of his death on the 29th of December 1910.